fighting out of Melbourne, Australia, for Jack Jenkins.
Now the fight's on the ground for the first time.
Knee to the body.
Oh, another beautiful elbow.
Oh! Biggest shot of the fight for the winner, for Jack Jenkins.
Welcome back to UFC Fight Camp alongside Megan Anderson. I'm Aaron Atita, and we got room for one more, so why not make that third person the featherweight's own far Jack Jenkins. Thanks for joining us on the show today. Jack, how you doing?
Yeah, doing very well. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, the last time that we saw you, needless to say, it was a painful experience, both for you and for us watching, injuring your arm in a match that I believe that you were winning. Moving forward, though, what was the rehab like for you?
Yeah, it was pretty slow at the start, just trying to get everything, get all the tendons back to where they needed to be and the strength back in it. But it came up to about 80%, 85% in good time. And then the last couple of months have just been me being really aggressive at getting it from that 85% back to 100%. And I think I've got there in the last sort of 5 weeks. So we've contacted the UFC and ready for a fight now.
Yeah, whenever it comes to rehabbing, whenever I talk to athletes, it's always a battle between what the physical and what the mental can do at the same time moving forward. For you, what was the toughest part for your rehab?
Well, it's funny because when you get into the UFC, it's probably the first time most of us have the ability to train full time and not supplement your income with some work. And because I'd been doing pretty well, I wasn't working. So I would wake up in the morning and go to the gym and do my rehab, and then my day would be over by about 11, and I had nothing else to do. So just finding stuff to fill in the day was the hardest part. But I got a good routine in the end and was really diligent with my rehab. And as soon as I could get back in the gym, even in a manner to sort of help my teammates and, more of a mentoring, coaching role, I tried to do what I could. And then as soon as the elbow was good, I went straight back to training.
Well, the last time we kind of see you win, because, we all love to win, was at UFC 284 in Perth against Don Shainis. Can you remember much of that fight? And does that kind of fuel you as you kind of go through this rehab?
Yeah, I remember everything about that fight. That was sort of the crowning glory on my career. You know what it's like, Megan, when you spend so much time working your ass off to get into the UFC and you just want to go out there and perform as well as you can. And I thought it was a really good fight. Don was tough and game, and he came to fight and got to walk out in front of all my family and friends. And, I'll hold on to that forever. But it definitely just made me realize how much I do want it and how much I want to get to the very top of this sport and squeeze every inch out of it that I can.
Well, the highest of the highs, lowest of the lows, but to be able to get to the high, you kind of have to start from the bottom. And how has your life kind of changed since, fighting in front of family, friends in the local gym, and kind of getting to this point now?
Yeah, there's aspects of your life that have changed dramatically, and then there's most of my life is exactly the same. I still, I've got the same partner that I've always had. I got the same group of friends, still hang out with mum and dad and my brothers and sisters as much as I can. But the best part is you just don't have to work. Like I used to work at a pub pulling beers and taking bets at the TAB, whereas now I get to go home and rest and recover between training. That's the biggest part that's changed. But as far as like the training and stuff, I still train just the same pretty much. I just get a better chance to recover. So, going forward, I just want to maintain that for as long as I can and get my way into the top 10.
There's a lot of things that you said there about changing, and there's one thing that I was hoping that there might be a change in your perspective of potentially maybe finally doing a Shoeys celebration. Is there still no chance of us seeing this?
Nah, it's just not my thing. I got my own sort of swag, my own way about things, and it's just not me. I've never done it. I never did it growing up. Never was interested in it. The other boys, they can have their fun and do it if they please, but I'm just not interested in it.
Yeah, just to clarify, because there might be a misconception of what it was. I believe that you don't want to do this?
Oh God.
I mean, just to be completely clear on all of this, this is not what you want to do, Jack. Is that correct?
And the thing is, that's definitely, like, I'm looking at that shoe. Is that your shoe, Megan?
Yes. So that was a
No,
that
it's
was
not.
a
That
brand new
is
shoe
not your
because
shoe. That is someone else's shoe.
That's a huge
and you
shoe.
are drinking out of it.
I swear to you, that's my shoe, and it's a
Okay.
brand new shoe because I had forgotten my Reebok, because it was Reebok back then. I'd forgotten my Reebok shoes heading into the venue, and obviously you have to wear head-to-toe Reebok, or head-to-toe whatever it is. I think it's like Venom now. And so I walked out with a brand new set of shoes. I was like, let me just grab this one, because there was absolutely no way that I was picking up a random person's shoe and drinking that. Like, Tai Tuivasa is a madman for doing that. I will gladly do it out of my own clean, brand new shoe. Nobody else's, thank you.
Just to making sure that everything just making sure that everything was clear on who was going to be doing that. And apparently Jack still won't do it. All right.
Not for me. I'll leave it to you, Megs.
Well-
Not for me.
No worries, I'll take one for the team. Your next win, I will do one for you in celebration. But a lot happening in the featherweight division right now. Obviously, Alex Volkanovski was the champion, just lost to Ilia Topuria. What were your thoughts on that fight?
Like, two thoughts. One, you can't make mistakes, which has always been true. You can't make mistakes. And two, Ilia Topuria is very, very good. Volk, like, too much gets said of, like, that loss. Like, Volk went undefeated for so long at featherweight. He got clipped. I think Volk's going to take some time off, and when he comes back, he'll be a force to be reckoned with. I don't buy into any of the chat that, you know, the 35 is too old. You know, he showed no signs of slowing down before that. I think he just needs a bit of time to get the head right after 2 knockouts, and then he'll be back, and he'll be back to doing what he's always done, which is to pick people apart.
Well, the state of the featherweight division is kind of up in the air right now. We've just changed champions, and that champion is pretty much calling out everybody but anyone in the actual division. What are your kind of thoughts on that?
Yeah, earn your stripes. Earn your stripes before you go call people out in other divisions. You know, we've got such a deep, talented division. I don't know. I personally, I know everybody doesn't share this opinion, but I think that they should cancel the Holloway-Gagey fight, put Chandler or whoever else in against Gagey for the BMF belt, and tell Holloway, mate, you're back to 45 now. Go fight Ilia, because that's the big test. And Holloway's been held back from that belt for so long. And I think he's probably only gone up to 155 as a means to get an interesting fight, because he was never going to get another title fight while Volk was there. So, you know, I think Holloway is the fight to make there while Volk's off taking a bit of R&R. As far as down the list in featherweight, like, I think that ranks 5 to 15 is really open. Like, there's lots of fights in there that I'd really enjoy. You know, I've obviously got to get another win or two before I can start, you know, making my call up towards that end of the division. But it's 5 to 15 at featherweight is as interesting as it gets in terms of different styles.
Well, speaking of that, when should we expect to see you in there? And do you have a specific name in mind?
Oh, ask the UFC. I've been begging. I'm hoping to. I asked for April, and then we didn't really hear back about April. And you know what it's like, Megan. You kind of need to know when to get ready and when to peak and stuff. So once we didn't hear, April kind of let itself pass, and then we've said May or June, and there's a card on the 1st of June which I'd really like to get on, or anywhere from sort of start of May through to June. But there's rumours, and no breaking evidence here, but there's rumours that there's the Perth card again in August 18, and I want to get one before then. So it needs to be sometime before, you know, probably the first week of June would be as late as I would go to make sure I could back up and get on that Perth card.
Well, doesn't matter who it is going to be against. UFC, we need to get this man a fight as soon as possible so that we can see him in front of his home crowd once again. Jack, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks very much.